Hello everybody, I'm Miss Schaffer from North Webster Junior High. Last week I showed you how to write a friendly letter, and today I'm going to show you how to write a business letter. So to begin our lesson today, we need to look at the parts of a business or formal letter.
There are 6 parts to the business letter that we're going to write today. The kind of business letter that we're writing today is called a block style business letter. So everything is going to begin at the left margin. There are other styles, but this is probably the most common, and this is the one we're going to be using today. The 6 parts of a business letter are the heading, the inside address, the salutation or greeting, the body, the closing, and the signature. The next page that we're going to look at today is a business letter format. I know the quality of the image is not that good, but it does allow you to see a nice layout of what your finished product of your business letter is going to look like. The first part of a business letter that we're going to look at on this page is the heading. The heading is going to include your address and the date that the letter is written. Then, still lined up on the left-hand side, we're going to move down to the inside address. And the inside address is going to be the address of the company that you are writing to. The third part is the salutation, which is also called the greeting. You will probably hear me use both of those terms interchangeably. This is where you're going to say something like, "Dear Mr. Jones," or "Dear Mrs. Smith." If you don't know a name, you might say "Dear Sir" or "Dear Madam," or "Dear Sir" or "Madam," or "To whom it may concern." Whichever greeting or salutation that you choose to use, in a business letter, it's going to be followed by a colon. In a friendly letter like we learned to write last week, you use a comma after the greeting. But in a business letter, you are going to use a colon. The next part of a business letter is the body. The body of the business letter, in this particular example, is 3 paragraphs. They are all still lined up at the left-hand side. This is where you're going to request the information that you are asking for by sending your letter. The next part is the closing. The closing is sincerely yours, yours truly, and it's always followed by a comma. The final part is the signature. If you notice here, it is illustrated with 2 different types. This is showing you that whether you are typing or printing or writing a business letter, there should be a cursive version of your name and there should be a printed or typed version of your name. So what you have is the printed or typed version as the official part of your letter. If you actually print out on a computer, you're then going to go back to the space in between the closing and the typed name, and you're going to sign your name in the middle. Cursive is preferred, but if you don't know how to write in cursive, print will be okay. Business letters are written to state a purpose, make a request, give a compliment, and other uses, and they use a business letter format or a formal format. So now we're going to let you write a business letter. Here is an assignment for you. Choose a company that you are interested in learning more about. For example, Coca-Cola, Hershey's, Nike, Apple, McDonald's, and so on. The sky is the limit on who you can write to. Once you've chosen your company, you're going to write a business letter requesting information about their company. Explain to them why you like their products and why you are interested in their company. Follow the guidelines given in the lesson today. Use the internet to find their mailing address to use in writing your letter. Another little interesting fact: if you mail your letter, you will probably later be pleasantly surprised. Most companies will send information back to you, and some will even send coupons or free samples. So I hope you'll take this all the way through and actually mail your letter and see what the company's response is. I'd like for you to take a minute to write your business letter, stop the video, and resume when you are done. Okay, now that you are finished writing your business letter, We're going to look at a checklist to make sure you have included everything that you need to include. In your mind, check these off or jot them down. If there's something that you left out, you're going to need to change that. That's part of proofreading and editing before you send the final letter. These are the things that you're going to check for. I included a heading, which is my address. I wrote the date below my address. I included the address of the person to whom I am writing, which is the inside address. I have a salutation or greeting, and I placed a colon after it. And you can see here what a colon is if you're not sure. It's the 2 dots. I checked my spelling, and I spelled all names and addresses correctly. You're going to check for 3 things in the body of the letter. In the body of my letter, I first described who I am and explained the purpose of my letter. I expressed my viewpoint on the topic, and I thanked the person or organization for reading my letter. Next, I used a closing to end my letter, and I placed a comma after the closing. I signed my letter. Cursive is preferred but not required. My letter is polite and uses formal language. I checked for misspelled words. I checked my writing and typing for errors in punctuation, capitalization, and grammar. Once you have a final product of a business letter, if you would like to mail your letter, you're going to use the same instructions that you used last week. And in case you have forgotten, we're going to put this up again. The title of the YouTube video that I had you watch last week is How to Address an Envelope by Howcast. If you search that, the video should be the first item to come up in the list, and that will help you with how to get your letter ready to mail if you are not sure.
Thank you for watching today. For more home learning activities, please visit our resource portal at www.websterpsb.org.